This is Amy Chan from CakeDecoratingSchool.com, and if you like cake decorating, you're in the right place. In this video, we'll be making a set of wedding-themed cupcakes. It's broken down into steps, so you can skip ahead, rewind, and rewatch as desired. For our cupcakes today, we're going to make 2 shades of pink, both pastel, and we're also going to use some additional extra white. So you want to make sure you have some more buttercream on hand. We're using American style. You can use whatever kind of buttercream you prefer. And we're using 2 shades of liquid gel color, some neon bright pink and some red. And since we're making pastels, I've got a little of each out so that I'm ready to go. And I'm just going to do a couple of small specks of pink and then give myself one of that red. And here we have our nice soft shade of pink. Next up, we're going to make a second shade, and I'm going to use the same colors, just a slightly different ratio. So think more red than pink. We want to keep the color soft as well. We just want to make sure that it reads differently than the first one. And here we have our color. Still pastel, but just a little more intense. I added a couple more specks of my red. You can see it gives us a slightly cooler reading pink color. So we've got enough difference between the two that we'll be able to tell them apart side by side. We're going to use 4 bags to create our cupcakes today. And you can see each of them has the tip directly down in it. Our lighter pink, we've loaded into a bag with the number 199. Our slightly more intense cool tone pink, we've put in a bag with a number 104. We have a bag of just white with a number 127. And finally, we have a striped bag. We've done a couple of stripes of both of our pink and loaded it primarily with white. There's no particular pattern on this. We just want some variation in the colors, and we've used a 1M tip. We're going to review our techniques now for our wedding cupcakes, and you can see we're really just using 4, and we're going to produce 3 cupcakes with them. The first, a rosette. For this one, it's our bag with our 1M. We're going to pipe a star, pull out to the side while still piping, spiral around, and just taper off your pressure as you make it to the end. And we'll be doing this on our cupcake, so it won't pull up on us the way the paper does, but you can see that gives us a lovely little spiral. When we go to do our rosette rose on top of a cupcake, we're going to just pull the circle we do so that it's on the outside and laying flat on the cupcake instead of being on top of the star that we piped. Next up, our stars. For this, we're using our 199, so it might look a little different if you're used to doing them, say, with 21s or 18s, but it's the same basic principle. You want to be up above the surface, kind of hovering up there, straight up and down with the bag, squeeze till you get a nice full star, stop and pull away. Ribbons. For this one, we're using our 104 tip. And we're using this petal tip a little differently than we normally would because we're not piping petals, we're piping these ridges or ribbons. We're going to anchor the fat end of the tip so that it's touching the surface we're piping on, in this case the tray. In a moment it'll be a cupcake. And that skinny point is going to be pointing straight up. If we then use a nice little zigzag motion, really tight and close together, you can see we get this beautiful ribbon of frosting, this lovely kind of soft ridge that gives us a nice, expressive, wonderful, soft, curvy feel. And finally, we're going to make a spiral. We're going to do this on our turntable. That's going to be the easiest way to do it. And we're going to use our 127 tip. It's a lot like doing a ruffle on top of a cupcake where you work from the outside in. For this, it's going to be also a lot like those ribbons where we're going to anchor the fat end towards the cupcake and we're just going to tilt that skinny end out. And that's going to allow that frosting to come out at a nice angle. We're going to squeeze and hold that squeeze and just spin our turntable to nice right. And this should give us a nice, beautiful, clean spiral. And we'll just move it in as we go until we get to the center and finish. It's going to be a quick, easy way to cover our cupcakes. It'll give it a nice kind of fabric-y feel, which is fantastic for weddings, but it's also very simple. First step for our cupcakes is our lovely little rosette rose. And you can see this one with our striped bag gives us a nice soft blend of colors and some interest very easily. We're going to start out by doing that star in the middle with our 1M tip. And then instead of piping our circle directly on it to make a rosette, we're going to pull out further so that we're on top of the cupcake again and then do the circle around it. Same as when you do the rosette, when you get about 3/4 of the way around, start tapering off your pressure so that when you pull to that point and meet up with the beginning, you've got a nice tapered end there. Let's give it a try. We're going to set ourselves up for success. So think bag right over the middle of the cupcake. We're up above the surface so our frosting has room to balloon out. We're going to pipe a nice star. Continue piping while we move out to the side and just trace a circle right around that star. This way you don't really get any cake showing through. And you get a beautiful rosette rose. Next up is our multi-technique cupcake. And you can see we've got 3 bags we're using here. First up, we're going to do a rosette with our 1M. You just want to put it off to one side, right, left, it doesn't matter, whatever is easiest for you. And keep in mind you can always rotate them as you're going. But that's going to be that nice tight rosette. I'm going to then go in with my 104 tip and that slightly deeper shade of pink. And I'm going to do a nice little ribbon down the side. We want to make sure we leave ourselves a little bit of a blank space, and we're just going to come in there and do stars with our 199. Fill in the bottom first and then bring a little bit over the top anywhere you need to join stuff together. Our first step is our rosette. I've got my 1M. I'm going to go off to one side. So think if you bisect it in half, pick either the right or left, doesn't matter which. Pipe your star, circle around right on top of it, and give yourself a nice, beautiful rosette. Next up, we're going to go ahead and pipe those ribbons. So I'm going to start right here, right next to my rosette, right in that corner. Just fill in those cracks. Don't worry about running into the work you did before, and just come down this side. So just think about filling it in and making a nice little ridge of those ruffles. And finally, we're going to use our 199. I'm going to come in my blank spot and make some beautiful stars. Just think about getting them in there, nesting them in. They don't have to be perfect. You just want to fill in, cover that top surface of our cupcake. And then anywhere you need a little bit of extra, I like to do a couple right on top. Right on the border between our different design elements. Just to kind of tie everything together and give ourselves a little extra height in the center. And finally, we have our spiral cupcake. This one gives us kind of the look of a little fabric detail, maybe on a dress. We're going to start at the outside edge with our tip, and we're going to go almost completely around, and then we're just going to pull in every time we make a complete rotation. I'm just going to use my turntable and turn it slowly with one hand while I'm squeezing and piping with the other. And even though it's not really apparent, I actually took a little break here to readjust my bag and kind of reposition myself a little bit. So you don't think you have to do this all in one go. You can still get a nice, smooth, clean look. Even if you only make it 1 or 2 rotations, stop, adjust your bag, and then keep going. It's better to take your time and do it in parts, and that'll give you a much cleaner look than just trying to power through. It's time for our spiral cupcake. We've got our bag of white with our 127 on it. We're going to line ourselves up so that that outside edge of the tip kind of lines up with the outside edge of the cupcake. The fat end right here, and you can see it's pointing out towards that outside edge. If we start squeezing and just gently turn our turntable, you can see we get a nice, beautiful ribbon. You need to, as you go in, just angle that tip up a little bit, and if you need to, take a break. And I just want to go until I fill up that center, stop, and then pull away for a nice clean finish. And here we have our finished cupcakes. You can see we've done 3 designs. They're all relatively easy, one a little more complicated just because it uses a few more techniques, but even those are really simple techniques, so they're pretty easy to master. We've chosen a few pastel shades and mixed it with some white, so it really goes with a lot of different events and weddings, but it's also easy to customize these based on the color palette of whatever event you're making them for. And these are great ones to mix in with more complicated styles. They give you some texture, some interest without being overly complicated, and they look really detailed. So you'll really get a lot of bang for that effort that you put into them. We hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It truly supports our channel and helps us share more in-depth cake decorating lessons. Want to level up your skills? Our yearly membership has certificate programs from beginner and up. Learn more at cakedecoratingschool.com.